Yeah, I mean, thank you very much for the opportunity and the chance also to at least also make a contribution um, in finding a solution to this problem that has been with us for all these years. Truly, it's a disturbing situation. We are getting briefing about the breakdown of security, targeted killings that are going on. The Regional Peace Council is, if you like, at its wit's end to be able to really find solution to this problem. We from the National Peace Council here have traveled on several occasions to Bawku. We have met with the Bawku Naba. We have met with him and the chief of the Mamprisi community also in Bawku. At the time, our target was to plead with them to cease fire and to allow all the processes put in place to ensure that we are able to find lasting solution to the problem. It appears to me during the time, we got some cooperation. Unfortunately, just not too long after we have left the place, we heard about a renewed, tension where some people have been killed. We made the second attempt. We reached Bolga, where we were advised that it was not safe for us to travel to Bawku at the time. So we have to remain at Bolga and then fly back and travel back to Tamale and then back to Accra. But before we came, we had a chance to meet the regional police commander, who also gave us some briefing about exactly the situation down there. One of the things that he told us, which we find very, very disturbing, is about the availability of sophisticated weapons. That availability itself serves like a motivation. The source of those sophisticated weapons, we are unable to tell where they are coming from. It appears that there are many of the members of both Kusasi and Mamprisi that are spread in other parts of this country and also outside the country, who may also be having their contributions towards their various communities. But we are unable to say with surety that where the source of those weapons are coming from. Thirdly, we also were aware that there was what we call the Bawku Inter-Ethnic Peace Committee. At the time we traveled to Bawku, it was in session, very operational. But afterwards, we also got the information that one section of the committee representing one of the conflicting communities had decided to withdraw from the Bawku Inter-Ethnic Peace Committee. And so that stalled the operation of the Bawku Inter-Ethnic Peace Committee. And then from then on, sporadically, we hear some target killings and so on and so forth. So it's a very disturbing situation. The situation now over there is that there is so much suspicion. The environment is so toxic with so much suspicion, very heightened one. Availability of sophisticated weapons all over the place. Economic activities are no more going on. Social services have also been affected, and it is worsening the situation there. So that is at least our picture of what is happening there, which is very, very disturbing. We are worried. Even as we find ourselves here, whatever happens in Bawku does affect us, and we are so worried and hope that as we engage on this particular platform, we could send some messages, hopefully, if we really can cease fire and allow processes that will ensure a lasting solution to this problem is arrived at.
Well, we know that the Peace Council, to a large extent, becomes the very last resort to seeking peace in any particular situation. And to the extent that it appears that it's broken down, and at least the Office of the National Chief Imam, I'm sure, has some intervention when it comes to this particular conflict. Would you say it's a hopeless situation, considering the fact that it looks like all avenues are broken down in terms of finding peace in the area? We are seeing clashes with security officials leading to shootouts, leading to killings amongst others. And you talked about the suspicions. Really, is the Bawku conflict a hopeless situation, or you feel that there is definitely hope when it comes to this situation?
Well, we would not want to go to the extent where we say it's a hopeless situation, but in any crisis situation, we still will have to look into the future with some hope. We are hoping that as we think through it, we'll be able to find the elements that are so important and critical and central to this whole conflict, whose cooperation we can seek and plead with them to listen to us. I remember at one time, in fact, the chief imam was briefed completely about the situation. He was so worried about it. Indeed, the Peace Council, reached out to the chief imam and requested if he could even travel to Bawku to meet his own grandchildren and grandchildren and granddaughters and just talk to them. And the simple message was that any single person who is killed among the Kusasi or the Mampri is either a grandson to the chief imam or his son. So through this long conflict, Chief Imam is losing his own children. In fact, he has been worried about it. There's no single social or religious ceremony that we have organized that the Chief Imam has not isolated the issue of Bawku for prayer, that we pray. And he's still looking for opportunity, that if opportunity comes, that it is possible for him to travel, at least to meet them and say, look, my children, my grandchildren, any one of you who is killed is my part of me, is my own children. You are my grandchildren. So I lose my own grandchildren and children through this conflict. So help me to ensure that we cease fire, and then we have an opportunity to look into the case, and probably by God's favors, we'll be able to find solutions. So I will not say it's a hopeless situation. We are still exploring opportunities. If the opportunity comes and it is possible and the people there will cooperate, I will not go against the idea that the chief imam travels, meet them face to face with a simple message that he has come to plead with them, to put down, to silence the gun and allow the processes to go so that we can find solution to the problem.
On the issue about silencing the gun, I'll bring in Mr. J.B. Asante, but I want you to ponder over this particular question about who the beneficiaries of this conflict are and the political involvement and the will to be able to deal with it. But Mr. J.B. Asante, silencing the gun, really, we've been talking about guns and the sophisticated weapons that are available in Bawku. We know about searches that have been conducted, but yet every renewed conflict, we see sophisticated weapons in use in Bawku. Really, are you able to tell, have you been able to fathom where these weapons are coming from and who is behind it?
Okay, thank you very much, Emefa. The Bawku situation, it's very, very unfortunate. And this is what we have been trying to prevent or avoid on a large scale. So the issue of the weapons, the kind of sophisticated weapons that have been discovered as being used in this conflict. Definitely, these are not conflicts that are coming from the country, because we do not manufacture such weapons in this country. And I don't also want to believe that these are weapons that are leaking from our state armories. But we know, as we've always been saying, the porous nature of our borders, and we know how close Bawku is close to the border. And we know of our neighboring countries, what has happened there, and other countries in the Sahel, where weapons abound, and so they find their way into the country and into that part of the country. And obviously, people go for these weapons with specific targets or objectives to fuel the conflict that is going on in Bawku. So others died yesterday, and obviously belonging to one section of the factions that are fighting. And so the next time it will be a time for them to avenge the death of a relative or a loved one. And so that is how come we are having this cycle of conflict in Bawku, with people dying almost every day or most of the time when the conflict is happening.